once you accept is, then you can actually ask, well, what got me into this place the first place? What are my beliefs that made me, you know, unhappy, or what actions have I taken to get me to this point where I feel unhappy? Or then you can actually start to deal with the problems, right? So I think it's just being honest with yourself, which again sounds very simple, not easy.
Nothing is easy, I suppose, in the process of changing your mindset and changing yourself,
Yeah.
like as a person.
But here's the thing. It's like, now when I have a therapy session and I'm like crying my eyes out because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. I can't believe like I haven't processed this negative past event or whatever. But as I'm doing it, I'm like very like, oh yes, this is good that I saw this now. And this is good that I'm feeling this pain now because I understand that going through that painful thing is what's going to free me up in like the next 20 minutes. So
Hmm.
it's just like anything else. Once you get used to training for a sport or whatever, and your muscles are sore and you build it over time, then you're like, oh yeah, the muscle soreness means I'm getting stronger, I'm getting better when I recover in 2 days from now. So it is a muscle that you build, really.
Brain is a muscle also, no? I had a teacher
Absolutely.
who used to tell me that uh, you need to train the brain because it's also a muscle. Um, what maybe the last question before we close the episode today would be, what would be an advice that you would give someone who is starting out on their entrepreneurial journey? Let's niche it
Mm.
down, for example, to female entrepreneurs, and it's feeling overwhelmed, or it's feeling that it's too much for them, or that, I don't know, that it's not the right thing to do. What is the advice that you would give?
Yeah. The first thing I would ask is, are they clear why they're doing it? Because I've had so many businesses that I've done because from FOMO, or there's an opportunity here and I should do it, which is kind of like another version of FOMO, or um, because I think someone else would have wanted me to do it. And I didn't actually do it because I wanted to do it. So that's why they haven't, like, I've started what, I'm like 30 years old and I've started 7 businesses and closed 5 already, including a Mexican restaurant. I mean, it's
Well,
just like literally. So first it's getting very clear. It's like, are you doing it because it's internally motivated and this is something you want to do? It's okay to try things out and know later that you don't want to do them, by the way. But there are some
hmm,
businesses that I clearly knew I'm doing this out of FOMO and I'm going to do it anyway. The second thing is, once you're clear that, no, I want to do this because I want to do it, then it's just having a very clear assessment of where you're at in terms of your entrepreneurship skills and where you're not, what resources you'll need, and do you have enough cash to actually like make mistakes and like have it take as long as it might take for you to start seeing money. If not, I suggest
hmm,
having a source of income so you're not pressured to make bad decisions because you're running out of money. Um, for example, with a lot of businesses, you have to have marketing skills or you need to hire the right marketing company. But even if you hire the marketing company, if you're an inexperienced entrepreneur, then you're not going to know it if like a lot of times I've spent so much money on marketing, but I wasn't clear for myself what I wanted. And the money just went to waste. It didn't produce results because I wasn't clear in my own head. And I thought that if I hired a marketing
hmm.
company, they would just figure out the marketing for me. I would get clients, no brainer. It doesn't work that way because I wasn't ready. So I think doing a lot of research on like whatever industry it is that you want to start a business in, like really, what do you need to be successful? Um, and before you go spending a bunch of money on coaches or marketing or whatever, um, just be prepared that it might take you some time before you start getting money in. And can you financially wait that long? This is very practical. I wish
Hmm.
someone told me this because I took out a
Yeah.
bunch of loans and then I couldn't pay them back. And that was very scary. So, yeah. And then have mentors. Have mentors. It could be podcast mentors, even if they're not people you can afford to talk to yet, one on one. Learn from what other people have gone through and try
Hmm.
to collapse your timelines as much as possible. And there are a lot of free resources out there, by the way. Before you go pay for anything, there are a lot of free resources.
Nice.
It's just some off the top of my
Yeah.
head. Yeah, I'm sure I have a
Thanks
lot more, but yeah.
for the for the free advice. Let's say like this.
Yeah.
Jen, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your experiences and the dream method. I think the last question now it's more like the extra thing, but it's always mandatory. It's where can my listeners connect with you, where they can find the dream method, where in general, where they can connect and find your
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah. Well, you can share my Facebook and Instagram links. And also I do a free 5-day challenge. It's called the Wake Up in Love with Your Life challenge. I'm thinking of making it 3 days actually, and it might be paid, but low ticket. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, this is like a very accessible way to get a very generous sample of my work. And it's very impactful. So I will share that link with you as well.
Perfect. You will find all the links as always in the description of the episode, so you can go and check out Jen's social media, but also the websites and the free or not free at that point, depending on where you arrive to it, or
Yeah.
5 and 3 days, depending on when you
Still
enter.
figuring it out, yeah.
Exactly. But thanks again, and to all the listeners, thank you also for tuning in and listening to Expat Experts. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and take care.
You've been listening to Expat Experts, the podcast that takes you around the world through the stories of those who've lived it. Subscribe now to YouTube and your favorite podcast platform, and stay tuned for more inspiring interviews.
If you liked this short video out of the full episode, you can find the link to it around here and in the description below. Of course, if you are also interested in checking out other episodes, please subscribe and like.